And we're live. That's right. We are live yet again. That's right. That's right. Now, obviously, before we begin, we have to do the Leslie Cross chant. Otherwise, it's not official, you know. So let's go. Let's do it. Do it with me, people. Let's chant in unison. I, Leslie Cross. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. That's right, because I'm AJ, the dogmatic extremist. Yes, your favorite dogmatic extremist of the extreme. That's right. Well, today what we are doing is we are reacting and responding and reacting to this guy, Tobias Leenaert, or whatever. I call him Tobias, I call him Toby Leenaert. He's just an idiot, an umquat, a complete, uh, failure of a person. But hey, don't accuse me of poisoning the well. Oh, hello there, Carrie. Hi, how's everything? It's nice to see you here. How's the audio? I always ask, how's the audio? Is it on? Is the mic on? Hello? Hello? Hi, President Obama? Hello? Okay, I don't know. I don't know, that was my Obama impression. Okay. Great, nice, nice. Awesome, Carrie, awesome. Yeah, well, we're here today. We are here today to respond to this thing. It's because it's a challenge that they have challenged me with, uh, the challenge of reacting to Tobias Leenaert and his how to create a vegan world. Because I was accused of not even reading the book or anything. Thank you, Carrie. uh, so, you know, so I was accused of not reading the book, which is totally true. I never read it, but I don't have to read it because I know what the guy says. So what do you think is gonna be in the book? More of the stuff that he already says. So it doesn't matter. I don't need to read it. So well, yeah, I got my birthday mug here. It's not my birthday yet again. It's not. My birthday is July 10. But And yeah, I mean, I was challenged in a way by this Morgan guy. Morgan says I haven't read these books, so I cannot call to ban them. But I'm not trying to ban these books. I'm trying to make people understand that the people who write these books, like How to Create a Vegan World or How to Talk to a Meat Eater and stuff like that, they're not promoting veganism. They're promoting something else, but they're calling it veganism, and that's my problem. So they have two options: either stop calling what they do veganism, or start promoting veganism. One of the two. But they don't want to do either. So what can I tell you? They've made the word vegan into a brand that they can, promote themselves with. But we don't do that here. We're actual vegans. That's why we are AJ, the dogmatic vegan extremist. Yes, that's right. So, without further ado, I think we can commence because this is like a half hour long. It's going to be a presentation by Tobias Leenaert. Again, I don't have the share screen capacity or whatever. There's no budget for that, but we're going to hear what he has to say. Then I'm going to respond to him, and we're gonna evaluate if he's right, if I'm right, who's right, what's veganism, what's not. Let's see. So let's start with Tobias or Tobias or whatever. See the volume, yeah.
Hi, good morning, everybody. So this talk is indeed called How to Create a Vegan World, and that's the title of my book, How to Create a Vegan World. And it's been called a book that everyone should avoid.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone should avoid. I think that part, if he cuts to here, is great because it's true. That book, everyone should avoid it. Do not read. Do not read this horrible book. Oh man, so that part was great. Ah, interesting, interesting. He started out, you know, saying something truthful at least. Oh man.
by the vegan police. And this is an actual quote. I didn't invent this. This is actually somebody calling himself the vegan police. But what I
Nice. Who is this vegan police? I want to know that those people because if there's a vegan police, I want to know them. I want to know what organization is that. And if they're saying to avoid Tobias Leenaert, I like them already. I wish I could stay. We'll catch the replay later. Oh well, don't worry about that, Carrie. You'll catch the replay. Of course you will. So well, you be on your way and have a good time. All right. So let's see. Let's continue with this Tobias.
I want to show with this is that I'm sometimes a bit of a devil's advocate within the movement, and some people would just simply say I'm the devil.
Yeah, I don't know. I know devil, but he's absolutely terrible. You know, I mean, he's got to get in line because there's other devils in the movement. There's like Peter Singer, probably the worst of the worst. But this guy is a close second, I guess. But he might even be worse. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see by the end of this.
So before I give some of my perceptions about the vegan movement and what we can do better, let me just say very simply that I think that vegans, of course, are awesome.
Yeah, vegans are awesome. Sadly, also we are very scarce. There's not many of us. Some people say there's like 80 million vegans in the world. I think it's more around 4,000 vegans in the world. I don't know. I don't think there's 80 million of us. I really don't. But hey.
I was, yeah. Yeah, in the United States, where I just was at the conference, we would say, like, give yourself a big round of applause. We're not going to do that here. So vegans are awesome. Why? Because you have to deal with a lot of shit. You are.
Yeah, exactly. Like you. Oh, man. Well, talk about not being self-aware. Eh?
Are swimming against the stream. You're doing a thing that's really awesome. That's really great. That has so many benefits for so many things. And you're doing it in spite of the fact that 97% of the people or something is against you and is criticizing you and ridiculing you. So that's why it's really recommendable to be vegan.
No, it's commendable to be vegan because, hey, recognizing that the animals are individuals who deserve to be free in a world that doesn't, well, that's extra special, I guess. But really, it's just a natural thing. It's just what we ask is to recognize the animals for who they really are, and that's it.
Of course. So that being said, let me explain some things about what we could do better. In my book, I use a metaphor. I use a metaphor of the trek to Veganville. A hike to Veganville. Veganville is a village where we want everybody to live. We want everybody to live in that village to be vegan. We want a vegan world.
Yeah, I want everyone to go to Veganville. Bring it on down to Veganville. But hey, they're not gonna get to Veganville if you promote something else that's not veganism, but you tell them that it is. That's not a way to get to Veganville. That's a way to get to, whatever, some other land that, that may look like it, but it's not. That's not the thing.
Right. And I have.
Hey, vegan animal defender. We don't need metaphors to describe veganism. Don't use animals. It's that simple. Yeah, you'd think it would be that simple, but apparently no. We have to, resort to all kinds of tricks and stunts to get people interested, apparently. Okay, let's continue.
Subdivided the book in different chapters. It's about, the first one is about getting your bearings. Where are we? The second one is about the call to action. What are we ideally going to ask people to do? The third one is about motivations. What are the arguments we're going to use? Then the environment is about, like, how do we create an environment that's facilitating people's evolution? Then I have a big chapter on communication. How do we communicate best with people, like in an engaging way that like really motivates and stimulates them? And then finally, there's a chapter on sustainability about how to keep on doing what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. There's many of them, many of them, and they are some of them disguise themselves better than others. That's the other thing. Like many of these malsons, they really make it very tough to discover them. Like who's the fake activist and who's not. It's really difficult sometimes.
Both as vegans and as activists. But today I'm going to talk about another metaphor, and I'm going to use the metaphor of ingredients. I'm going to talk about four ingredients.
Oh, hey, but we have Kane in the house. Hello, Kane. Thank you for coming to the stream. Maybe you'll learn something finally. I guess you're here to get some vegan knowledge finally, eh? Some non intersectional vegan knowledge. Uh, it's funny that he says stop being a crybaby when he's the one crying about Charleston and whatever. I thought Sky was a true vegan too. How disappointing. Yeah, well, we all thought. We all thought so. So let's continue with this. Tobias Leenaert, the complete idiot from Belgium.
That we need for a vegan world. Four things that we need more of in our movement. And you can think more than four things, but I'm going to just discuss these ones. Open-mindedness, empathy, rationality, and positivity. Those are the four ingredients that I see that we can use some more of. So let's start with open-mindedness. If you, like me, you were, for a certain part of your life, you were in a certain box. We could call it the box of carnism.
And here's one of the problems with the entire presentation the box of carnism. Well, carnism. Carnism. That's not the opposite of veganism. Carnism is simply the eating of the flesh. It refers to consuming the flesh of other beings. It doesn't mean, it's not the opposite of veganism. It doesn't talk about all the forms of exploitations that we partake in. Kane, if you want, I'll do that some other time. Today I'm reacting to Tobias Leenaert and his nonsense. But what I will tell you is this: it's not about defining intersectionality. It's that the so-called intersectional vegans, such as yourselves, are the crybabies who cry about human stupidity issues instead of focusing on the animals. And you try to call out actual vegans like myself for not speaking up about this or that other cause that you care about. Well, I'm sorry, dude, you're not going to gatekeep anything. You're just a bunch of intersectional numquats. All right, hi AJ, didn't get a notification. Yeah, don't worry about it. We're here responding to Tobias Leenaert. It's great that Kane has joined because he wants to learn. He wants to actually become a vegan someday. Interesting. Yeah, yeah, Kane. Keep crying, bro. Keep crying. All right.
An ideological box, and it made you think that, like Melanie Joyce says, meat eating is normal, natural, necessary. You were just inside your safe box, and you were okay there.
You see, that's the other problem. That's the other fucking problem here. The guy is in cahoots with Melanie Joy. Okay, so I see we have a fake animal defender. We have a fake animal defender, which is Kane, obviously, using multi accounts. Kane, why can't you be a regular person? That's what I don't understand. You don't have to be a troll. Like you could just have a regular conversation with people. You don't need to resort to this kind of childish behavior. Uh, you really don't. But you don't really have to resort to this kind of behavior. But I'm going to ban you now because I'm not gonna have this. Ay, puto Kane de mierda, mano. Puto Kane, de verdad. And this is what happens when you get trolls in your live stream. You know, they ruin everything. They create multiple accounts and attack you instead of having an actual conversation because they can't deal with stuff. What can I tell you? Ah, bloody hell. Yeah, but now the problem is I don't know if I banned uh, the actual vegan animal defender or some troll. So if you're vegan animal defender and I banned you by mistake, I'm sorry, but because this Kane guy started making multiple accounts, man alive, they're ridiculous, man. All right, so let's continue with this Tobias Leenaert.
But then all of a sudden, you get a bit, you see the box move, get a bit restless inside the box, and then the light goes on, the box opens, and you jump out as a vegan, right? And you start talking about all these things, and you start realizing all these things, what meat eating or animal products consumption is connected to, environment, health, and so on.
Again, another problem here. He's talking about environment, health, meat eating. That's not veganism, my guy. Veganism is stop exploiting animals. That's it. But I don't understand. Um, let me see. Uh, now, I don't know if I actually banned the real vegan animal defender now. I'm sorry about that. Hello, Hannah. Well, we are responding to Tobias Leenaert, but we had a problem here with Kane, who came to the chat to troll, and then with multiple accounts, he started attacking me or attacking the live stream. And I'm not even sure if I banned him or I banned some of the real vegan animal defender, which he hasn't said anything else, so I'm guessing it was the real him. Hmm. I don't know how to bring him back. Ay, Dios mío, qué vergo tan idiota, mano. So this is the fake Marcelo too. Amazing. Yeah, it's just a bunch of. All right. Who believe the bait and claim the animals are somehow not innocent. Yeah, I don't know, Hannah. I don't know why, but yeah. All right, so let's see. Let's continue with this numquat.
And then what happened to me is that I found that I was all of a sudden finding myself to a certain extent in another box, in the box of veganism. And I was noticing with myself that I wasn't listening very much anymore to others, to non-vegans. And I was thinking I had found the truth and I was just repeating the same things all the time. So I was saying things like veganism is this, and you're not vegan if you do that, and vegans are that. Like all kinds of things that were given to me that were like that I wasn't questioning anymore. So for instance, this cartoon illustrates it very well. Like if there's I'm mostly vegan, but and the other person here says there's no you're not vegan if there's a but, right? So,
yeah, exactly. So in this part, Tobias Leenaert Yeah, the meme is right, and Tobias Leenaert is wrong. You cannot say I'm mostly vegan, but what are you gonna say? There's no such thing as mostly vegan. First of all, you either are vegan or you are not. And if you're not, you say things like this, like I'm mostly vegan, but and then you're gonna say some stupid thing. No.
So there was no questioning anymore. And I agreed with this. And I don't think today that's a good thing. And I was always also going back, like I see many people do, going back to the definition of veganism.
Ah, yeah, this part is terrible. He says he's going back to the definition, but then he cites Donald Watson, doesn't even mention Leslie Gross at all, doesn't actually mention the real definition of veganism, only the one he can attack with his utilitarian nonsense.
This guy, Donald Watson, invented veganism so many years ago, and we go back to his definition and that's a bit like a religion, like going back to the
yeah,
original scripture.
Again, the attack, the oh, you're being dogmatic, you're being religious, attack on actual vegans. You see, this is what the non-vegan activist does, like him. He attacks the real vegans, says that we're too extreme, it's too dogmatic, and we should listen more to others and meet them where they are. Well, I would meet them where they are, but they are at McDonald's, so I'm not interested in that.
And I found myself doing that again and again. And here's a good test, like to check your open-mindedness. This is an article, actually, I thought it was a pretty good article. Why vegetarians or vegans should be prepared to bend their own rules.
Well, the article is trash because it says vegetarians, which is already an animal exploiter. So there you go. Vegetarians are trash. And bend the rules. The rules of what? I'm not gonna bend any rule. Dude, we have a moral duty to not exploit animals. So there's no bending of anything here. Yes, exactly. Animals are innocent. Hannah, that's right. They are innocent, we are not, and what we do to them is horrible.
How do you feel about reading this title? Are you motivated to read this article, or are you saying, like, I'm not going to read that shit?
The second one.
That's how you can test your own open-mindedness. Or can you imagine that maybe it's a little bit more complicated than this? Maybe this serves for purposes of external communication, but when we think about it, it may be a little bit more complicated. So what I want to say is, you can be liberated from the carnage box, but you can end up in another box. And just let me be clear, if you're in a box, it's much better to be in this box than this box. Okay? But still, it's better to be not inside any box at all. And the way I put it sometimes is being vegan means giving up animal products. It doesn't mean giving up thinking.
Oh, well, no. Being vegan doesn't mean giving up animal products because, hey, guess what, genius? Animals are not products to begin with. So you're not really giving up anything. You just stop taking what wasn't yours in the first place.
So beware of dogma. What's wrong? Dogma is like not questioning things anymore.
Beware of dogma. Ouch! Right in the dogmatic, Tobias. Right in the dogmatic. Yeah, dude. You accuse people of being dogmatic, but the truth is, you can't deal with the fact that veganism is not whatever you want it to be. Veganism is what it is, whether you like it or not. So if you're not willing to do that thing, you're not willing to be vegan, then stop calling yourself that.
Taking things for granted. And what's the problem with dogma is that dogma doesn't allow ourselves to improve.
No, you monkwat. Here's the thing. What he calls dogma is simply the acceptance of the principle of veganism. The very obvious and simple concept of no animal use is really simple. But he needs to make it difficult. He needs to make it appear difficult. So he can sell you more books and do more presentations. That's the entire thing. It's all a marketing ploy. Because if veganism is presented as this easy thing and people finally acknowledge it, then their entire career, like for people like Tobias Leenaert or Peter Singer, ends. And because they have no other discernible skills or talents, their life ends too. So that your tofu doesn't make a difference. Ah, cool. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and we have to constantly improve because there's so much work to do, and we have to get ever better at it. Okay, so open-mindedness, these things can help you. Like, think about questions like, have I thought about this thoroughly? Have I really thought about this? Or
yes, I have thought about it. The animals deserve to be free. We don't deserve to exploit them. Next.
am I just repeating something that I've heard all the time? Think about what information you might be missing. Think about
No, I'm not missing anything.
What your own biases are when you talk to people, etc. And I say it like this: practice slow opinion. Slow opinion is about being slow in forming an opinion. Not like on Facebook, like right away saying like it's like this and I think like this, I think this or that. No, just take a break and think like maybe I haven't thought this through, maybe I need to think about this a little longer. And you say like, for now I have no opinion.
Look at this Namqual, or well, listen to him. For now, I don't have an opinion. Yeah, well, I do. And in fact, it's not my opinion, it's just reality. I'm just relaying the information. That's the thing. I'm not having an opinion because veganism is not an opinion, it's a universal truth. And what I'm doing is relaying the message. I'm letting you know of this information, not giving you my opinion. My opinion on animals doesn't matter. What matters is the objective truth and the objective morality of letting them be free from humans. Exactly, Hannah, you get it. I have a huge bias against injustice against the innocent. That's right.
Or this is my preliminary opinion and it may change later. Okay, that's how you, I think, practice open-mindedness.
Funny how he says, vegans, let's practice open mindedness, but he doesn't tell this to the anti vegans. I don't know, something to think about, eh?
The second one is empathy. And we are, as vegans, we are typically very good at empathy. This is Anita Kreitsch, I never know how to pronounce the name, woman who started the Save movement in Toronto, and she's watering a pig here. I think it's a very nice symbol, icon of empathy. And like I said, we're very good at empathy, especially for these pigs and these cows and these chickens. But we're not so good as empathy for meat eaters.
Okay, here we go again. It's not meat eaters, Numquat. It's not meat eaters. It's animal exploiters. The Manzoans, the users of the animal. Okay, it's not just meat eaters. Because vegetarians are not meat eaters, but they still exploit animals. Okay. Man. When it comes to atrocious acts of injustice, yes, that's right.
Or for hunters, or for bullfighters.
He was a little too excited when he said bullfighters right there. Oh man, yeah. Why would I have any empathy towards the Malzoans, the people who are, using and damaging animals on purpose all the time, and then laughing about it? Like, why would I have any empathy towards those people?
So you could say, really, do we really need empathy for these people?
We don't.
Like, seriously? So I take Gary Yourofsky here as an example of somebody who's like really in your face and who doesn't really take reactions of the people he's talking to that much into account. He just says it like straight like it is.
Exactly. He says it like it is, like what you should do. But you're too coward to do it.
Um, and there's this, I mean, on the opposite side of Gary Yourofsky, you have somebody like Thich Nhat Hanh, you know him? He's like a Vietnamese Buddhist monk, and he's vegan, and he's spreading veganism. He won't be with us very long. He's very sick. He's a wonderful person. He's very compassionate. He's like a monk. He's like very zen, and he won't like scream in your face, etc. I'm not saying either one of these approaches is the right approach. I'm saying, like, for myself, I choose usually a more soft, a more calmer approach, and I think it is actually applicable and appropriate or useful in almost any situation. And I can imagine that there's people thinking here like, oh, there's definitely some people we don't need empathy for. People who are really, really not nice. Can you think of some people like that? They were recently in the news. These people, right? Do we need empathy for them? Well, I think it might be useful. And I just want to illustrate with this guy. This is Daryl Davis.
Irving, no, actually. Andrew Tate is like the worst, one of the worst examples to follow. He actually is just a character. He's just a scam artist. He is, an opportunist, actually a charlatan. He knows that there are young people, young impressionable, especially young impressionable men out there who will watch content like his, and he makes content for them. When he's just playing a character, I want to believe he's not actually that much of a caricature in real life. I want to believe he's not just some, you know, Neanderthal caveman of the modern times, because it's ridiculous. His levels of misogyny and just backwards thinking is something I refuse to believe he's being real. Uh, no, Tate is not an alpha. I'm sorry, Erwin, but no, he's not an alpha. He's actually not. Um, he's the opposite of that. He says that women are property, and, well, animals are property too, according to him. So he's terrible.
He's a black guy, and he grew up outside of America, and he came back to America when he was 10, and he had no experience with racism whatsoever.
This part about
out of place. So it's about having an open mind, listening to people, asking questions. It's about building a relationship. I think this is one of the most important things we can do if we want to influence other people, is to build a relationship with them. It's not to accuse them, not to guilt trip them, not to like show no empathy for them, but build a relationship, trying to understand them.
What this doofus doesn't understand is that, dude, those people that you want to build a relationship with or whatever, they're doing the very thing that you're trying to stop the world from doing. And if you don't hold them accountable and you don't tell them what they really are, they're never going to know. They're going to think, yeah, this is just a funny thing. This vegan thing is just some funny thing that you can do on the weekends. No, it's an actual thing. It's an important thing. And in fact, the most important thing over time. The animal massacre, the animal holocaust is the most important thing, most important issue of our lifetime. And this guy is treating it like it's some kind of, like flying a kite on a Sunday afternoon. Dude, come on, Leenaert. Oh boy. So I got apparently some Andrew Tate, which I don't know, it's kind of weird to have Andrew Tate followers here, because, I mean, we're talking about Tobias Leenaert, probably one of the worst crybaby soy boys out there. And, well, I don't know why we get these Andrew Tate followers here, but I don't know. Oh, man. But I appreciate you anyway being here. If you're here to learn something new, maybe something you haven't heard of in your life, which is veganism, the ethical principle against the exploitation of sentient beings, in this case, the animals, the other animals beside humans. Um, and why that is? It's because they're sentient beings, they're innocent, and we, you know, exploit them for profit, for pleasure, for whatever reason. Doesn't need to happen. So let's just leave them be. So I appreciate everyone here. Hey, I even appreciate Kane having been here, even though he started to troll. I wish he didn't troll. I wish he actually stayed and had a regular conversation, but he wasn't having it because, well, he's a kid. So what are you gonna do? That's how kids behave on the internet. Um, so yeah.
So some tips to be more empathic. You can try to understand the situation we are in. So some people know this quote from me. Why do most people eat meat? Most people eat meat because most people eat meat.
That was dumb and circular, and also not the point. That's the problem with his entire presentation. That this guy is like, oh, eating meat, eating meat. It's not about eating meat, dude. Like I've already said it. It's about not using animals for any purpose, not just the eating part.
Right. So this is a situation. We're in a situation where we're doing what everybody else does, and it's kind of understandable that people are doing the wrong thing, but so many people are doing the wrong thing. So that's a situation or a condition we have to take into account. And you have to realize that to a certain extent, you are special. This is the adoption of innovation curve or model, and it divides people into different sections from innovators to laggards. So for instance, if you had a smartphone 15 years ago already, you were an early adopter or an innovator. If you still don't have a smartphone, you're like on that end. Okay? And that's the way it is. It's going to be with vegans and with meat eating, with animal products consumption too. You are the early adopters, and other people come later into the game.
Early adopters, man, veganism has been established at least as an ethical principle, and the word was established, and the principle and the concept was established during the 1940s and 50s. So it's been around. It's not like you're an innovator of anything. We didn't discover America in a glass of water. This thing has been around. So we're not innovators at this stage. We're not early adapters or whatever. We're really late to the game.
And to a certain extent, we can say that you or we are the low-hanging fruit. The low-hanging fruit in the sense that it was easy to reach us. It was easy to
Oh, you're a fruit, all right.
reach us with these moral arguments. We heard about animal suffering, and more or less rapidly we went vegan.
No, dude, that's your thing, bro. Veganism again, not about animal suffering. Sure, it can alleviate their suffering, but that's not the aim of veganism.
With other people, it's not like that. They need more than just moral arguments. So understand that you're not the same as other people. Secondly, understand when you are dealing with people that you don't have all the information. I give you a very good trick to be more empathic and to be more calm. Like suppose that this happens, like somebody crosses you, like this guy on a motorbike, like races past you on the highway, 160 kilometers an hour. When that happens to me, I go like, "Rawr," because they're like very unsafe and they're like, yeah, I get very aggressive about that. And the thing that helps me is to think like, well, maybe he's on his way to his mom in the hospital who's dying.
Right, okay. So I see the conversation is getting kind of interesting here. Okay, Irving, so you stay away from milk. But yeah, here's the thing. It doesn't matter if cow's milk or any other animal's milk is for alphas or not. That's not the point. The point is it's not for humans. It's not for us to take because it doesn't belong to us. It belongs to someone else. In this case, the mother cow or the mother, I don't know, whatever other species. So it doesn't really belong to us, so we shouldn't take it. Phytoestrogen is exactly the same as mammalian estrogen from animal products. That is factually wrong. Sunday. That is factually wrong, but also not the point of veganism. YouTube sure shows me random channels. Yeah, it's for baby calf. I agree with you there. Ervin, you seem to be getting it at least, and I do appreciate you being here, even though this wasn't what you expected it to be. I think it's awesome that you stayed here and that you're having an actual conversation. And even if you're not vegan today, maybe you're gonna learn something, and maybe who knows? There's hope for you. I hope there is. I think there is, and I really hope you finally understand that just because milk is not for you, also none other part of the animals is for you either. The prime objective of veganism is to end all animal slavery, commodification, and exploitation. You got it, Martin. You got it. But I like soy milk and soy sauce. Yeah, that's the other thing. As a vegan, there's this misconception that you're gonna be consuming soy all the time, which is not necessarily true. I mean, I'm sure there's vegans out there with a soy allergy, so they work around it by eating something else. They don't have to eat soy if that's something that worries you for some reason. Uh, but well, you don't have to eat soy. That's not. In fact, there's no such thing as a vegan diet. It's just simply not eating anything from animals. So you can include whatever fruits, nuts, veggies you like. I only know veganism through Joe Rogan and Tate Brothers. Oh, yikes! Yeah, no wonder you have such wrong information about it, because those guys are not vegan, so they're gonna say whatever. Won the debate with that vegan guy. I saw that. Yeah, I mean, it's not so much that he won, it's just that the debate was just a train wreck. And yeah, Joey Carstrom did not do a good job that night. It was terrible to watch. Um, but then again, Joey Carstrom, I don't know, man. I don't know what he tried to do, but whatever he tried to do, he didn't accomplish it. By Tristan Tate, because Tristan supports factory farming of dogs, so he was consistent. Did he really support factory farming of dogs? I don't remember that part. Um, I know he at least acknowledged that eating animals is not manly, so at least there was that. But oh man, I was for a second there, I was like really. Uh, oh man, you had me at the first time. I thought I had German shepherds before. I thought you meant that you had eaten them. Hey, what happened to the comments? Ah, so I would think that you didn't. Um, yeah, the German Shepherd. Yeah, that's the thing with dogs, right? This is a species of animals that is completely man-made at this point. They're artificial animals made by humans. We call them our best friends, and what do we do to them? We do these horrible things. We breed them forcefully, and we mass produce them, and we genetically modify them to the point where they're so different to what they should be. So they're these animals that we created to our liking. It's just absolutely disgusting. Like we made them look and act how we wanted them to be. And so today, the dogs of today, they're all sick. They're all having horrible health problems because of this, because they're a man-made animal made to serve man. It's just horrible. Yeah, exactly. All right. So let's continue with Tobias Leenaert, the thing that we're here to for today.
or something like that. That like really immediately shifts my attitude. I had it on the way coming here actually, and I said like I have to remind myself of my own strategies, and I did it, and it calmed me down. Of course, it's going to be more difficult when they pass you like this. Okay, so it doesn't work for everything. And thirdly, remember that empathy works. Remember that guy Daryl Davis with the Ku Klux Klan. If you find it difficult to have empathy, remember that it's also a question of effectiveness, of creating results for animals. Rationality is the third thing. So rationality, there's a lot to be said about it. One recent example of where we were not entirely rational or not entirely evidence-based or scientific was apparently the movie What the Health, which has dealt with a lot of criticism of people saying like, well, this is not scientific and this is exaggerated, etc. And it kind of like, to a certain extent, it backfired, even though a lot of people were convinced by the movie. But I would say one aspect of being rational is like not to exaggerate vegan claims. And I
Well, this part I do agree with him. We should never exaggerate anything about veganism. I think when people talk about the practices side of veganism, which again is not about practices, but there are practices associated with the mindset of veganism, we should never lie to people. That's completely true. Some people lie to others, or maybe not because they want to lie, but because they believe these things. They believe, yeah, dude, you go vegan and then you get super sexual powers. You become this awesome like thing, and you float on air and you teleport everywhere and stuff like it. No, you don't get superpowers. You don't. That doesn't happen. You don't get. You might see improvements on your health and your overall well-being and stuff like that. You might see improvements depending on your lifestyle, not only your diet but your lifestyle as a whole. Like if you stay on late playing Call of Duty till 4 a.m. or something like that, eating chips and drinking coffee or whatever, you're not going to be too healthy. So you know so I don't know, just saying. Exactly. Veganism is not a diet. That's right. Google said there's no creatine beta alanine. What the heck is that even? Sounds like the name of some weird space alien. Taurine in vegan food. Well, I think there's synthetic versions of that in different supplements and stuff, but I'm not too concerned with any of that. So it's not a diet, but you eat a diet. This stuff is weird. I mean, no, you don't eat a diet. The thing is that obviously you eat as a person. You have to eat to exist. You want to live. So obviously it does include a dietary component because one of the uses that we give to animals is food. Sadly, if and this is the good part. This is why veganism is not a diet. Let's say humanity never used animals for food ever. We've never used them for food, but we've used them for everything else, for clothing, I don't know, medicine, experiments, entertainment, transportation, all of the other uses, but not food. Well, veganism would still be an ethical principle against the exploitation of those animals, and it would not include a diet because we would already be not eating animals. But right now, it does include a dietary component because sadly, like I said, animals are being, consumed by humans, at an alarming rate. So there you go. That's why. Um, Kathy is here. Old Lady Kenobi. That's right. Thank you, Kathy. I hope it's the real you and not Kane with another account. Guys, if any of you can reach out to Vegan Animal Defender and ask him if he was if I banned him by mistake. Oh man, because I now believe that he wasn't really here and it was just Kane all along. Uh, Carnivore doctors say it's better for you than eating plants. I mean, yeah, doctors will say whatever gives them money, So if they get money from the meat industries, they're gonna tell you that being carnivore is freaking awesome when it's not, and aminos from other proteins. But it doesn't matter because we need to be alpha and dominate the innocent. What the heck, Sunday? You have terrible mindset. I hope you change it as soon as possible. Uh, some massive troll attack earlier. Yeah, there was a massive troll attack, and it's sad. In fact, I don't even believe that was the actual Kane at this point. I believe there was a troll impersonating Kane. It could be like someone is trying to out Kane the Kane. Could be because it doesn't seem like it was him. Uh, yeah. got many good personal stories on carnivore diet. Yeah, but personal stories, it's anecdotal evidence, and anecdotal evidence is really low in the hierarchy of evidence. You know, anecdotes are really low. I can say whatever, and it's just my word. So it's not really an indicative of anything. Uh, yeah, exactly. There were a bunch of trolls. We need to eat dogs to be healthy. I don't really think so. Um, all right, so let's see. Well, where were we? Ah, yeah, with Tobias Leenaert. That's the thing what we're here for. It's just that this conversation has gotten so interesting. Vegan diet say same. So who's right? Well, here's the thing, Irving. I cannot tell you 100% that again, like a plant-based diet will result in better health outcomes for you exactly because I don't know your lifestyle. I don't know what you're doing. I know that if you plan a good type of plant-based diet and you exercise regularly and stuff like that, it will probably result in good outcomes for you. But there's, like I said, there's no vegan diet because a vegan diet is whatever a vegan eats. It's just we don't eat plants because we want to eat plants. We eat plants because we need to eat, and we don't want to use animals for that. We don't want to use the innocent animals for that. So we resort to plants and something whatever else. Vegan is not a diet. I don't drink milk. Ah, yeah, that's that. Yeah. All right. So let's go to Tobias again. He's gonna say more.
I say like when you do that, when you present veganism as the solution for everything in the world, for every problem, you are a veganomaniac. Uh,
Exactly. That's another thing. This one I agree with him here. Do not present veganism as the answer to every problem. It will solve, we will achieve world peace and you're gonna be extremely healthy and it's gonna cure your cancer and your diabetes and everything. It's like don't do that because that's really irresponsible and not true. Veganism is here to solve one thing, our our relationship, the relationship of humans and the other animals. That's what it's here to do. It's not here to do anything else.
so let's try to keep it real and let's try to not exaggerate the claims of veganism. But the most important thing that I want to talk under the flag of rationality is purity. And I wish there was a day. I wish a day would come when I don't have to address this aspect anymore, but it remains apparently so.
Why would you think that scientific consensus saying that plant-based diet is healthy is very sus? Scientific consensus is the very same thing. It's the same that we all go by. Uh, you know, um, I don't know. Seems to me like it's really solid. Um, but I don't really need scientists to tell me that. We already know it. We need good protein for muscle gains. Yeah, good thing there's protein in every freaking plant, so you don't have to worry about that. All right.
Necessary. And this is the most controversial part of what I have to say. So we have these questions and discussions all the time about who is vegan and what is vegan, right? And I want to suggest this. I want to suggest three things. I want to suggest that there are people who are 100 or 200% vegan.
You see, this is another fail from Tobias. He's like 100% or 200%. There's no percentage. I already said you either are vegan or you're not. There's no percentage.
They are there. Um, I want to suggest that people who are 99% vegan, who make small exceptions, like very small exceptions, that it's okay that they call themselves vegan, and we should.
No, because there's no exception.
Shouldn't like question that. I'll explain it in a minute. And I also suggest that there is a thing like 95% vegans, people who are 95%. That makes it.
Bloody hell. What would you think it's a 95% vegan? What would you think that is? How can you be 95% vegan? That's ridiculous. And like going, hey, I'm 95% not racist, but there's a 5% of racist. There I still am, you know. But like, no, right? That would not be acceptable by anyone. You'd be a racist. Bloody hell. Can beat red meat and chicken for protein? I haven't seen it. I mean, yeah, there are. In fact, they are making now. There's vegan proteins for the gym and stuff. I've seen it. I've seen some protein shakes and stuff for the vegans. It's just I'm not. If you haven't seen or you haven't noticed, I'm not really a gym bro. So you know, I haven't hit the gym since 2012. Yeah, I haven't gone to the gym since 2012. It's been 12 years. If you're not vegan, you're an animal abuser. Yeah, that's right. Need good aminos. Well, let me tell you, aminos. You can get those from plant-based sources. You don't really need animals for that. Maybe I'll check there. There are many vegan bodybuilders. Those that exist. Yeah, there are. There's this guy called Hench Herbivore. He's a gym bro, and he's really muscle bound guy. So you can check him out. He's a, like I said, Hench Herbivore. There's Patrick Babumian. There's I don't know who else is like one of those vegan gym bros. Heck, there's lifting vegan logic. That guy, he goes to the gym, he works out, he's vegan. So there you go. That's another example. Um, hey, Ali is here, the real one. I hope, because someone was impersonating you not too long ago. Okay, Hench Herbivore. I will look him up. Yeah, exactly, Hench Herbivore. I think he would be a good one to for you to look up because that guy centers the whole thing about the plant based eating and the exercises and stuff, and it could be a good match for you. Because I can't really tell you much about the nutritional side of things. I'm just a concerned citizen for the animals. Right. What's seitan? Okay, that is a wheat gluten. That's what it is. So if you're allergic to gluten or celiac, you suffer from that celiac disease thing, maybe, stay away from that. But if you're not, feel free to try. I haven't tried seitan. I want to, but I don't know what that is. Okay. Yeah, Kane hates me. He hates everyone. All right. So let's see. Okay, so we were at Tobias Leenaert calling some vegans 100%, some 95%. That's nonsense. Let's continue.
Name these things. So first of all, vegan, 100% vegan. It's not easy to see what 100% vegan is. Okay, there are by definition almost fuzzy borders. Like if you look at this scale here, it goes from like big ingredients to micro ingredients, like things that you can't even see. The question is, how far are we going there, and at what point is somebody vegan? Okay, so you could say that.
Bro, again, this guy is confusing everything. He thinks there's a percentage of veganism because he's making it out to be a diet or a set of practices when it's not. I've already explained. You are vegan when you understand that animals are innocent creatures, individuals who deserve to be free, and you act accordingly. That's it. It's not like, oh well, I had this tiny bit of cheese one day. Like, no, dude, that you're not vegan. I'm sorry. Like, if you did it on purpose, you're not vegan. If you made a mistake, you didn't know there was some ingredient in some food or something, you ate it by mistake. Don't worry, it wasn't your fault. Maybe be more, attentive next time. Be more on the lookout for things. But hey, don't, when you do it on purpose, like to have like a cheat day or whatever. Like, no, dude, that's definitely not vegan at all.
You're only vegan if you have studied by heart this little book with 300 pages of possibly non-vegan ingredients.
No, but no one is saying that, my guy. No vegan is saying that you have to read a ginormous book with 300 not possibly not vegan ingredients. It's nice to know where things come from, and it's a good information, sure, because we need to be aware. There's many things that are not vegan that you wouldn't know. If it wasn't for Jess McKay, I wouldn't know that Sesame Street is not vegan. It didn't even cross my mind, no pun intended, that that Sesame Street, like the Muppets and that kind of stuff, would have dead animal feather and stuff like that. Like, I didn't think of that because that's not where my mind is. Why would they do that to animals just to make a freaking Muppet? Or it doesn't make sense to me. So, but it turns out that's the thing. It's not vegan. Sesame Street, the Muppets, Fraggle Rock, that's horrible. If you work at a place, and for example, I used to work at this place selling phones, and I had to sell phones and their accessories and stuff. Most of those accessories, like the cases and stuff like that, they were probably with some animal component in them. And even I had to write on a whiteboard. I had to write down our sales numbers and stuff like that. And markers are not vegan; they contain some animal component as well. So what are you gonna do? So it's not it's not like you have to. Obviously, I wish markers were vegan, and I wish those things we didn't have to look up what's vegan and what's not. But sadly, this is the world we live in, a non-vegan world made for non-vegans by non-vegans. So we need to change that, and what we can control, we need to change, and what we cannot control, we need to be aware of it, but don't dwell on it too much. Just live your life, and there are things you can control. The food is the easiest part of all, believe me. The clothing, the shoes and stuff, some hygiene products, some other products might be more difficult to come by in a vegan way, whatever. Do your best. Like Leslie Cross used to say, do your honest best, but be honest about it and do your best. Animals are not here for us to use. Yeah, what is Erwin saying? I've never talked to vegans before. I heard they were judgmental and brain dead crybabies. Well, you heard wrong. Now, I'm not gonna lie. There might be some new. When you go vegan at first, everything seems so new and stuff that you go absolutely, berserk, and you can be very passionate and very outspoken and stuff. And that's why maybe we have that reputation, but that's not the case. We're just trying to do right by the animals. That's all we care about. For backyard hens, I haven't seen it ever. Yeah, there's no good arguments. I would tell you that I don't think there's good arguments for backyard hens, um, because again, we're treating the animals as property when they're not, and we're treating what they make, in this case eggs, as property for us, which again is not. It doesn't belong to us, so don't take it.
Okay, this is hard to do. I guess nobody is vegan, but somebody could learn the book by heart and say, I'm the true vegan. Okay? And so you can have a situation where for every vegan, there's another vegan who is more vegan. And we can all tell each other, you're not vegan, and this person tells the other one, you're not vegan, etc. We can play that game ad nauseum, ad infinitum. And it's not productive, it's not useful. So let's not do that. Let's not try to be a level 5 vegan.
Yeah, Irving. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not about hurting an animal physically or mentally or something. It's about not using them because you don't see them anymore as property. So that's the thing. They're not property. They are individuals whose lives belong to themselves, not to us. So taking something from them is really unfair. And in my book, that would not be a vegan thing to do. It's not really about the hurt or not. Uh, I am the true being. Oh man, is this the real nerd like us, or is this Kane again, but impersonating him? They lay 300 eggs per year after breeding instead of 12 per. Yeah, exactly. No, it's not supernatural. It's not. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not, but that's not supernatural at all. They're hatched by the egg industry. Yeah. Modified to lay an egg. So they doesn't get hurt by producing it. They could get hurt, but again, doesn't matter if they get hurt or not. The point is that they don't belong to you. It is me. Ah, okay. Thank you, because there was this massive troll attack. So yeah, now I can't trust anyone. I could be the troll. It's me. No, no. So yeah. Oh man. All right. So let's see. Okay, let's continue with this Tobias.
Okay, this is a distraction. And also you have to know that it's not always that impactful. Okay, so for instance, just a simple example, these people are dumpster diving and maybe they're getting some meat now and then from this dumpster and they're eating it. It has no impact whatsoever on the market, on demand.
Okay, this is very dangerous what he's saying here. Uh, oh well, if you might be dumpster diving and you eat a little bit of meat and it doesn't cause demand for it. Like that's not what veganism is, my guy. It's not that it causes demand or not. It's that you don't see animals as property. Again, like I've been saying. So if you see them as property, if you see them as things, resources for you to use, oh man, that's veganism, my guy. You don't see animals as things. You see them as the actual individuals that they are. So no, dumpster diving is not vegan if you eat a piece of meat. It doesn't matter if it doesn't cost more demand. That's not what it is. I'm late. Hello to fellow cross dogmatic vegans standing firm against all media. I hope this is the real you, because I just earlier I banned someone with your name and your profile picture. So I hope this is the real you, because I think it was Kane with your name and your stuff. Uh, Vegans eat meat. I don't get this. That guy's not vegan. Exactly, Irving. That guy that we're listening to is not a vegan. He's promoting something else, some utilitarian nonsense that has nothing to do with veganism. And no, vegans do not eat meat. Not at all. Exploitation and use of animals for any reason. That's right, nerds like us. You get it. Okay.
Okay, and the other way around, being vegan is not enough either. I mean, there's animal suffering and there's environmental problems, even for instance with chocolate, which can be a vegan product. Okay, vegan chocolate still requires a lot of water. It can have palm oil, which causes animal suffering. So don't think that as a vegan, as 110% vegan, you're there. It's not true. Okay. The second concept is that there is something like a 95% vegan. I don't think this is controversial, but I see all the time something like, no, doesn't exist. You either are vegan or you are not. It's like being pregnant.
Exactly. You either are vegan or you're not.
You're pregnant or you're not pregnant. There's nothing in between.
Exactly.
I don't think that's a good way to look at things. I think a more useful way is to...
Oh, so it is the real you. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, this numquat Tobias Leenaert, man, he doesn't get it. It's like, dude, yeah, you're either vegan or you're not. There's no percentage. It's impossible to have a percentage. That's not a thing.
Indeed say like there's something like a 95 or 85% vegan, just like the raw food people do. Oh, her colors are a bit off. I think that's from the raw food. Raw food people, they say these things all the time, like I'm a 90% raw. You know, and you could say that about being vegan too. And of course, 40%.
No, you cannot say that.
Vegan doesn't mean anything anymore, but like, let's say till 80% or something, it is a useful concept, I think. So rather than seeing it like black and white in terms of being pregnant or not, let's see it like maybe like a religion, like in the sense that like these people, they're religious Jews and they're very religious and they're following a lot of rules. So they cannot, on the Sabbath, they cannot press an elevator because that's an action and you can't do anything on the Sabbath. So you have.
Hey, hello, Dana. Hello. Welfare is Jesus having a talk about misinformation. I sent you this in the oh, okay, thank you. Hello, Dana. A cool vegan. Diet with one banana a day isn't a carnivore diet? Yeah, exactly. It would be like the opposite of that would be, I guess, that like someone calling themselves a carnivore but they eat a banana, then that's not they're not really doing a carnivore diet. Um, that's right. Animals are innocent.
To get a special elevator. But for instance, Jonathan Safran Foer is also Jewish. He doesn't do these things. He's not so strict, but they're both Jews.
Okay, Tobias Leenaert, let me give you an example. I don't know much about Judaism, but I do know that being Jewish, there's the ethnic group of Jewish people, and then there's the religion of Judaism. Those two things are not always the same thing. Someone can be an ethnic Jew and not be a religious Jew. And in Judaism, there's many branches of that. There's the more orthodox, the more that, and there's other different branches, and so it's not a unique concept. It's not just one thing. So in veganism, it is one thing. It's the rejection of the exploitation of the other animals. That's what it is. It's not a religion. It's not some concept. It's an ethical stance. So it's not like, well, I'm vegan, but then I kinda, I eat one cupcake a year. And what's the difference? Like, no, it's not what's the difference. The difference is that you're not seeing the animal as an individual, then. You're not freeing them from the prison of your mind. That's the first place where you should free them. You should free them from your mind and obviously from your stomach and from everything else. Exactly. BAD, you get it. Yeah, no one understands veganism. Yeah, they don't because of people like this numquat who tells people, hey, it's okay, you're 95 vegan and you can eat like a cupcake a year. Well, that's not true, Tobias. Man, alive. Well, he needs to make a career out of this. So obviously that's why he says what people want to hear. Yeah, exactly. Like those numquats. Oh man. And yeah, sometimes about the supplementation and stuff, I don't know much of the nutritional side of things, but what I do know is that many vegans do supplement B12. Um, I really don't. I just eat nutritional yeast, which is really awesome. And hey, better late than ever. Oh, don't worry, we're just halfway through. Marcelo, um, your comments, I see now. Okay, yeah. So yeah, the B12 thing. Yeah, there's this misconception that vegans are lacking in B12. What we are lacking in is patience because we're tired of seeing all these excuses that you know keep the animals as slaves when we want to set them free. But no, I just got here and all I see is vitriol. Hey, David C. Arenas, somebody to respect things. All right. So not a diet. It's about not hurting animals. But eggs can still be eaten? No, no, Irving, no. I think they've explained to you that it's not about not hurting animals, it's about not using them in any way. And no, eggs can definitely not be eaten. I mean, they physically can. You can physically eat an egg, but ethically and morally, it's a no. It's a no from from the animals. They're gonna say no, don't eat my stuff. Hey, Arenas, how's everything? Creating naturally? No, I don't think he's trolling. I think Erwin is actually being like. I think he's being uh, an actual, uh, he's actually making good questions here. What if I use an animal but don't hurt it? Well, here's the thing, right? Like we've already explained, yes, there are ways that you can use an animal that don't physically hurt the animal, but they're still wrong because you still see the animals as something for you. When they're not something, they are someone, and they don't belong to you. So leave them be. The body creates its own creatine, yes. I'm here for the vitriol. Ah, okay. Makes it, and I see bodybuilders still take creatine powder, so. I mean, dude, I don't know much about bodybuilding, but I can tell you people take a bunch of supplements for things they don't need, and sometimes they don't supplement what they do need. I don't know. That's weird. Just because people do something doesn't mean it's good for them. Um, so, I mean, there's a lot of drug users, doesn't mean it's good for them to use those drugs. So, I don't know. You not get to decide when where someone else's pain starts and stop. Exactly. All right, so let's continue with Tobias.
Right? So it's just a matter of strictness. I think it's useful to see it like that. It's not to not see it as a binary thing. Okay, and the most controversial thing is that I would suggest that people who make tiny exceptions. I mean, very rarely that if they call themselves a vegan, we don't go out and say like, well, if you do that, then you're not a vegan. I see that all the time on the internet. If you do this, then you're not vegan. Veganism is the definition of veganism is that, etc.
Exactly, Tobias. Veganism is one thing and one thing only. And if you do something that goes against it on purpose, then you're not vegan. Like I've said, if by mistake something happens to you, you didn't want it, but it happened, okay, it's a mistake, it can happen, move along, whatever. But, Irving, the reason why animals are enslaved and massacred is because people think of them in instrumental terms. Animals are not here for us. That's the animal emancipation message. Exactly. It's not about hurting them or not. It's about them not being our property. We don't get to decide when they are born, when they die, how they die, and what use to give them. We don't get to decide these things. It's not our moral duty to decide that. We what we need to understand is that our moral duty to them is to leave them be because they have their own lives. They are sentient beings with their own personalities, their own thoughts, wants, needs. So they need to be free just as you are free, Erwin, and just as I am free. Someone use you without hurting you. It's okay to take from you as long as no hurt you. It's okay. Yeah, exactly. Like steal from you and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. I use that analogy as well. Like someone steals something from me, I don't even notice. Maybe it doesn't affect me because I don't notice, but something was done to me. My space was, violated, and my property was taken from me. So this happened. It doesn't matter if I notice it or not because it happened. And the only reason, that it doesn't affect me is because I haven't noticed. But it's not excuse. Like it's not. You shouldn't take something from someone else. If it doesn't belong to you, it belongs to someone else. So it's not yours. People like we viewed animals, the humans would be. Well, you made more sense than what Joe Rogan and Tate have said about vegans. Yeah, exactly, Erwin. That's the thing. Yeah, because Rogan doesn't understand veganism. He doesn't really. He hasn't actually had a vegan guest on his podcast that I know of. I mean, he had that documentary guy a while back. The guy who made the documentary, was it the What the Health? One of those documentaries. But that's not veganism. He if he had someone like an actual vegan there, then that could explain to the audience what this actually means and everything. But he's not gonna have that because it's not good for views and stuff like that. So, oh, Game Changers, that's the one he made. Yeah, Game Changers, the changers of the game. Oh man. Oh boy. Yeah, those documentaries, my. But yeah. All right, so let's move on. Let's see what more from Tobias.
So let me explain what I mean. For instance, you're going to your grandmother and she made cookies and there's egg in those cookies or whatever. And you're a person, I don't do this personally, and maybe you don't do this either, but there's vegans who say like, yeah, just for my grandmother, I'm doing this.
Okay, listen to this. Like, oh, my grandma, sweet grandmother, she made cookies. It has some animal component in there. The grandma is really old. Might be her last cookies. Why not, right? Well, not because that was horrible, grandma. You did a horrible thing. Like, I'm sorry, she might be sweet, she might be old, but lady, you're doing something horribly wrong against the animals, and I'm not gonna be a part of it. Not even to please my you know soon to not be alive grandmother. Like I would not do that.
Once a year that I go there. And maybe you can imagine that this grandmother is like 99 years old and she will die the next year. And yeah, that's why you want to do it and that's why you don't want to disappoint her.
Yeah, this is bonkers. I mean, this is a utilitarian concept here. Like, oh well, the grandmother is old; she might die, so just eat the cookie. Who cares? Like, no, dude, absolutely not.
Or maybe there's a business meeting and you see that there's like impactful people around you and you know that if you're going to be very very strict, I'm not saying you should eat like a slice of cheese or something, but some maybe a tiny ingredient you may have doubts about, well, that you don't make a.
Oh, by the way, John Doe is here. Hello, John Doe. I'm glad to see everyone here. I don't think it's so. I have humans higher than animals, but I had dogs before. I love them like family. So farm animals have the same emotions. Yeah, farm animals have the same emotions and same, the distinct personalities and wants and needs and everything from like any dog. But the other thing to consider is: do you really love dogs, or do you love having dogs? Because that's a very completely different thing. People say they love dogs, but what do we do to get them? We breed them, we mass produce them, forcefully breed them, experiment on them, modify them, modify their bodies, modify their behavior. Do people really love dogs? Or I don't think so. I mean, we say that, and it sounds good to say, but I don't think it's true. I don't drink milk. I think that milk is weak and it's for babies. All right, makes sense. Animals are just like a thing, bro. Just like humans are things. Ooh, I don't know. If you think humans are things, then we may have some kind of supremacist in the house. That's a supremacist mentality that we need to do away with. I think every human is an individual, a subject, and someone capable of having a subjective life experience. And there are many types of humans, obviously, some with more capacities or physical and mental abilities than others. Doesn't mean they're more important, doesn't mean they're superior to others. We're just different. And I think our lives are equally valuable. And the same goes for the animals. They're equally valuable because they're subjects just as well. So they are equally valuable in what matters. So why so many people blind if this is so true? Well, because there's such a thing as brainwashing and conditioning and stuff, there's appeals to popularity fallacy, appeals to futility, appeals to a bunch of logical fallacies that people, these are rationalizations that people make in their mind to justify doing things to animals. So that's kind of the thing. That's why so many people are blind to that. And then most activists don't inform the public of what actually veganism is. Most activists are like this Tobias Leenaert here, that trying to make it about practices and eating habits when it's not. And it's easy to come up with excuses against any eating habit. I can come up with excuses that could sound very logical against uh, a so-called plant-based or animal-free diet as a diet. Like, for example, eating chips and beer all the time, or like that could be vegan, but could be a plant-based diet, but it's not going to be healthy. Being a couch potato and stuff like that. So no, that's why veganism is not a diet. It's an ethical stance. What else was said here? A bunch of stuff. Kerry, you're back. Navia, you're back. Or you're here. The truth doesn't get out because of money that people get, which makes them happy. Yeah, exactly. That too. There's massive industries with massive, press and media in favor of them, and veganism doesn't have that. We don't have the financial power or the media power or anything like that. We don't have it. We are the powerless, and the powerful are these Tyson Foods conglomerates and Mondelez and those conglomerates and stuff that want to push their products onto people. So they make you believe that you need milk for health and for strong bones and stuff like that, and that you need red meat for this thing and white meat for that other thing and fish for something or other. It's like it's dumb. We don't need any of that. Um, and fear are just the culture and people around. Exactly. Yeah, there's that whole thing where you don't question your beliefs or anything because everyone around you doesn't question anything. So why would you question it? So it's a really difficult thing to get out of. It's almost like becoming an atheist or something like that in a world where I was born, everyone was a Catholic, and everywhere I looked. So getting out of that was kind of a big deal for me, but it happened. I broke free of that, but everyone else was and still is a Catholic from those people that I knew back then. So exactly, decidedly done. Vitamin fish, vitamin milk, vitamin meat. Yeah, but they infuse those vitamins and those essential things into those products. It's not like they have it all themselves. So you don't believe in the word of our Lord Cross, AJ? Is this the real Arenas, or is this Arenas being sarcastic, or what? Doctrination is forced onto us from childhood. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Donna said goodbye? I didn't see it. Or Kathy saying goodbye? I don't know. Who's saying goodbye? Kathy. Okay. I'm very sarcastic, AJ. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just because we had, like I said, and I've said in this live stream a bunch of times now, we had a massive troll attack. So I wasn't sure if it was you or it was some other person. And I don't know, because you're very sarcastic. So it might be a troll. It might be the real Arenas. We don't know. Yeah. Now that I think about it, what's the difference? Yeah. I guess the accent, but I don't know the accent from a text. So there you go. Oh man. Oh, Leslie Cross. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. Now that we have more people here, let's do the Leslie Cross chant. Huh? I'm the real Slim Arenas. Nice. Excellent. Please stand up. All right, so all rise. Ah, Leslie Cross. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. That's right. Leslie Cross. Okay, but we use religion to justify animal exploitation. Exactly. Like that, he always have answers, and that's coffee. Yeah, Le Main. That's the Leslie Cross shuffle. Hey, maybe I could come up with the Leslie Cross shuffle. Oh, that could be a new dance, you know? Okay, where were we? Ah, yeah, with Arenas. Yeah, Arenas. We're here with with Tobias Leenaert.
Seen and don't question. If people do that, I think that's a good thing, and I wouldn't push them out of the club for that. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's go a little bit further. These are your meals in a year.
Okay, look at this. This part isn't this like this part is gonna be insane because isn't he being like a privileged white European guy here? Look at this. He's like your meals in a year, and it's like 1,000 or something, and it's like, dude, like you're assuming too much. You know, like some people eat like once a day, or sometimes even less than that. You know.
That's 1,095 meals. Suppose that one of those meals is not vegan. You see the little dot there? One of those meals is not vegan. And that means that there's still potatoes and vegetables and there's maybe like a fish or whatever. So 1/3 of that meal is not vegan, right? So that's 0.03% of your meals is not vegan.
This is another utilitarian calculation that is completely wrong. He says, well, if you eat one tiny piece a year of some fish and then all your other meals are completely like plant based, what does that mean, my guy? That means that you don't really see animals as the individuals that they are. Ah, yeah. Yeah, Leslie Cross. That's the original vegan guy, you know, the greatest vegan to ever live.
Is that enough to say to a person, no, you're not vegan?
Yes, exactly. You're not vegan.
You don't belong to the club. You cannot call yourself a vegan, even though they are so much closer to being vegan than to anything else.
How are they closer, my guy? How are they closer if they still see the animals as something to use for them? That's not closer. Doesn't matter if it's just one time a year. That's like saying, "Hey, I banged someone one time a year. Am I still a virgin the rest of the year?" Like, no, you're not. Like it doesn't work that way. Oh man. Oh man. Like imagine saying that in court, like, Your Honor, I'm only a 0.03% murderer. You know, I only killed one tiny human one day, and then the rest of the year I didn't. So, you know, so take the handcuffs off me, you know? Like, what is that? That wouldn't fly in court. So why do we make this excuse for the animals? Want to call themselves vegan if they don't believe in the principle of rejection of all animal use? Yeah, exactly. It's weird. Hamid has some writings, Leslie Cross. Careful if you read it, you might turn vegan. It's very compelling. Exactly, Sunday. You do know your stuff. Candid hominid. That's a great. Um, is Nerds Like Us the fake one or not? I don't even know at this point. I don't know who's the fake and who's not. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. You know, this 0.03% something like that's not a thing. Man alive.
Vegetarian or whatever. That would be silly, I think, right?
No, you are silly, Leonard.
So, of course, there's I understand that people have problems with this approach. So you could say, for instance, what if we did this about people? What if we said like, yeah, well, you can do a little bit wrong with people. You can murder just one person once a year or something. Well, that's not really comparable, okay?
Oh well, he used the same analogy, and he says that's not really comparable. How convenient. Why is it not comparable, Mr. Tobias Leonard? Why is it not? Oh, because it's humans, so it's different, huh? When it's animals, then yeah, it's okay. Yeah, this guy is such a clown. Your personal choice ends when it infringes on the life of someone else. That's right, processing system request. That's a sexy name. Processing system request 0666. Yeah. Oliver Samzow, 29 years, can squat 265 kilos in steroid free competition. Samzow, more like Sam. Wow, that's that's a lot of weight. All right, so yeah, let's see.
So let me explain you what I'm not worried about here and what I'm worried about. So we may have different worries. I'm not worried about my mom forcing things into my throat. Like, when she hears that I'm saying, like, well, these tiny exceptions is not too bad. And then my mom says to me, like, yeah, I heard you say that. So this cake has eggs in it. Now you have to eat it. I just explain, no, mom, I don't do that. I can be still very clear about it. So I'm not worried about it. I'm also not worried about confused waiters. People say, like, oh, we're going to confuse the people in the restaurant and they're not going to know what to do, etc. We can still explain it. And I think it's much more easy to explain what a vegan dish is than what a vegan is. So I think vegan as an adjective is much more useful, much less problematic than applying the word vegan to a person.
Look, if you go to a restaurant, a good hack you can do. I mean, especially if you're in the U.S., because in this country you can sue everyone for everything. So businesses are very, nervous about their customers. They want to make sure that they comply with the customer. So instead of saying, "Oh, I'm vegan, so bring me a bread roll with no butter or something because I'm vegan," instead of vegan, just say that you're allergic to dairy. You're horribly allergic to dairy stuff or animal products, and they will bring you stuff that doesn't even contain one tiny bit of that because they don't want a potential lawsuit to the restaurant or the business. So a good hack, just say you're allergic to and it works better than vegan because vegan they don't even know what the heck that means. So and they might bring you dead animals to troll you or something or will not take you seriously. But if you say allergic, believe me, at least in this country they take it very seriously, and because again they don't want to get sued, they don't want to get any trouble. So that's something that you can do in the US. I don't know other countries, but here you can sue over everything. So businesses are very aware of that. The video on the same screen, I have no idea how to do it. It might react to videos if I knew how to do that. Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, the thing is, I don't have the capacity for that because I stream through my phone. So if I could use my computer, that would be different. But my computer is so freaking slow. You know, so freaking slow is just reporting the virus of the corona style. That's the latest news on my computer. That's how slow it is. So I can't share screens. So I'm just doing this weird voiceover thing where we're just listening to this quack. And
When is a person vegan is not so simple. When is a dish vegan, it's much more simple. I'm not concerned about watering down veganism. I'm not concerned about veganism becoming something that it's not or that.
yeah, exactly. Listen to him. Oh, I'm not concerned about watering down, and I'm not concerned about making veganism something it's not. Yeah, of course you're not concerned about that because you're not vegan yourself, Leonard. That's the whole point. Yeah, the computer is still wearing a mask and washing its hands for 30 seconds and staying away from people 6 feet. Stays away from other computers to not catch a virus. Oh man, yeah. I think Hench herbivore means for the nutritional side of things. Yeah, if you need some information on that, that guy is solid with that stuff. Uh, Listing vegan logic. I mean, even if I don't agree with him on the vegan principle, he might be, he's knowledgeable about the nutritional side of stuff. So if that's something that concerns you, I would listen to him at least on that side of things, not really about the ethical stance. What about your clothes? No human slavery, no animal use for your clothes? Well, I cannot guarantee 100% that my clothes has no human slavery. We would have to know what kind of slavery was it, and if you mean like a sweatshops and stuff like that, can't guarantee that it doesn't come from there. But to my knowledge, all the fabrics are completely synthetic and not animal derived. Um, oh, John Doe left. Okay, going to bed. All right, see you, John Doe. Um, all right, so let's continue to
wasn't
this.
intended. It's in the end, it's not about veganism. It's
You see here, the guy says it's not about veganism. He doesn't believe in that. He doesn't believe in the vegan principle. That's a problem with this Tobias Leenaert, that he's not promoting veganism because he doesn't believe in veganism. He believes in something else. And I don't understand how he can write a book called How to Create a Vegan World when he doesn't believe in veganism. He doesn't see it as a principle. He doesn't see it as anything. So why are we listening to him? We shouldn't.
It's not about the system, it's not about the definition or the ideology, it's about the animals that suffer or that don't suffer, or that killed or not killed. And I'm also not worried about the 98% vegan world. You see my chicken thing in there? So, I mean, some people say, like, we'll end up with something close to, but not quite vegan. But
Mike the Vegan. Oh, yeah, Mike the Vegan. That's right. That's another one. He knows about nutrition and about all those chemicals and stuff and amino acids and all that jazz. He knows about that stuff. So, Irving, look him up too. Mike the Vegan. That could be a good source of information on that side. Mentioning animals dying crops. So, you still use and kill animals for your diet. How can you be vegan then? Okay, so now the crop deaths argument is mostly just a utilitarian argument against a utilitarian calculation that, oh, well, vegans kill more animals or they kill X amount of animals. Veganism is not a stance, it's not really against. And here's the thing, it's not about the killing of animals because we existing, only by existing, we already cause harm and injuries and death to other beings and even to other humans just by existing, just by being. So it's not really about that. It's about freeing the animals that we are enslaving for our purposes. Now, those animals who die in crop fields and stuff, that's tragic, it's sad, and it shouldn't happen. But that's not a vegan's fault. That the whole agricultural industry was created by non-vegans for non-vegans. So they didn't take into account the lives of those animals. And that's not a vegan's fault. We do have to eat something at some point. We do have to do something. So it's not very. We cannot expect to just simply lie in a sarcophagus and die away. Like that's not gonna be plausible. So we still have to do our human activities in life. So it's gonna happen, and it's sad and it's tragic and it shouldn't. It's not something that we can control today as much. So we do what we can. That's why what we can control is this direct um, injury and direct use of animals. Yeah, I mean, the other argument that animals eat more crops and stuff, I mean, that could be an argument, but that's a utilitarian argument, not really about the principle. Should consume less calories then less deaths? I don't subscribe to that because there's no real calculation that more calories means more deaths, really. So I don't know. No one has come up to me with with the exact math that this is the case. It's just something that they think happens. But then again, the agricultural industries are not the fault of the vegans. So no, it's an anti-slavery. Yeah, exactly. Um, So no, it's not a movement against driving because when you drive, bugs get squashed into your windshield, or when you walk, you step on ants or something like that. Like no, that's it's not an anti-walk, anti-drive, anti every activity that you do because that's not even real. That's not a realistic goal. That's not a realistic thing. Even if we said, you know what, we're gonna pack our bags. We're everyone just abandon your cities. We're gonna go back to nature, reject humanity, go back to monkey, and we don't have any cars. We don't have any, pavement or highways or traffic lights. We're gonna live, with the land. We're gonna live with nature. We're still going to inflict horrible stuff to that nature, and we're going to consume those resources, and we're going to use that thing, and we're going to cause more harm and more. So it's not realistic. There's no realistic way to deal with that. So it's about reducing harm. A non-vegan in the woods may cause less harm than a city-dwelling vegan. It's about rejecting the idea that animals are tools for human use. Exactly, well put, animal defender. That's what I wanted to say. Listen to him or read what it said here. Veganic farming. Yeah, that's kind of a new technique or something, new thing. I don't know much about veganic farming, but yeah, it's new ethical ways to do these things, and they're trying to come up with that. So it could be. But we need to also understand that traditional farming, even the traditional plant farming, they work in cahoots with the other farming, the animal farming, and they work together. They sell their stuff to the other guys, and it's an entire business thing. So they're not really concerned with the lives of animals either. They're concerned with making a profit. We're just trying to do the best we can with what we have, with the circumstances the way they are right now. You can eat whatever you want when you are vegan because the whole point is you don't want to exploit or use animals for eating. Exactly. I mean, for eating and for any other purpose. Exactly. So that's kind of thing. It's a principle that rejects the idea that animals are here for us in any capacity.
I mean, if we get to 98%, that first of all, that would be a wonderful thing. And secondly, if we get there, the remaining 2% will take care of itself. Okay, I see so many people focusing and
If I had to completely reduce harm, that's why veganism is not about reducing harm. It's about rejecting the exploitation of animals. That's exactly why. It's not about reducing harm. If we would be about reducing harm, we would be here forever. It would be an impossible task. But fortunately, veganism is a possible task and that can be achieved. But there's many misinformers like this guy, Tobias Leenaert, that we're listening to today.
spending so much time on the final 1% while we're not doing the first 99%. What I am worried about is alienating.
So it's not a diet, it's just a diet part in veganism. Exactly. There is a dietary component in veganism because one of the uses that we have for animals is for food. That's why we reject it. If we didn't use animals in our society for food, veganism would be about, ending all the exploitation and uses of the other variety. So that's what it is. Yeah, exactly. That's why I was saying, Irving, like you reducing harm. That's not the goal. It would be an endless task, and it's not feasible. I mean, yeah, that's true. That is true. Also, you can reduce harm when you can, but it's not the goal of veganism. If it happens, and if you think about it, yeah, if you reject the idea that animals are yours and you become vegan effectively, then yeah, you may reduce the harm and suffering, all that stuff, but that's more of a side effect than it is the actual goal of veganism. That's just a positive side effect that happens, but it's associated with it. But exactly. Leave the forest. Yeah, but living in the forest, we still would use resources there and stuff. So it's like we still would cause all these very same things. And in fact, I think it would be worse, and then we would come back to building cities and stuff again at some point. Like we couldn't, because with the knowledge that we have now, with our society the way it has evolved, there's no way we're going to go back. Everyone's going to go back and abandon what we have. Like that's not going to happen. Even though it would be awesome to not pay taxes and or rent anymore, man, like that would be freaking amazing. Now that I think about it, I think I'm gonna go live in the woods. you know, I do live in a forest. Ah, okay, Martin Kevin. I mean, I know Spain is not too developed, but I wouldn't call it a forest. Just a joke. Um, okay.
Meat eaters, like by being extreme in all these things. And I'm not saying that being vegan is extreme or that being a consistent vegan is extreme. What I'm saying is that sometimes in our communication we can be extreme.
Uh, Again, this Leonard, man, it's not that we're extreme. It's that the exploitation of animals is extreme. We need to end it. That's it.
I'm worried about alienating vegans, something I see all the time on the web. People shifting from one Facebook group to another because they can't stand the atmosphere in one Facebook group anymore. And they go to another that.
Well, yeah, you gotta say, Irving, you've been a breath of fresh air. Actually, it's been amazing to find you in these spaces. Something that is not very known to you, something that kind of goes against to your initial beliefs and stuff, but it seems like you're very open minded and open to learn about these things, and it's nice that you're willing to listen to other people and read what they have to say also. I think that's nice. That speaks well of you. It seems like you're a person who wants to learn stuff, uh, like me being here, but I would be weak if I care about that. Yeah, that's also true. Living in the mountains surrounded by the trees. That's interesting. Nice, that's nice. Yeah, I think Irving Alpha has been really nice. You consider like that's really interesting to see. Someone who is like just stumbled upon this live stream by chance, like recommended by YouTube, came here, started asking questions. We've been answering very nicely. I think it's been a great conversation, and that's nice. That's the kind of interaction that is nice to have. But if it was just for health, we wouldn't think about that. Still not convinced a vegan diet covers all the boxes. Well, like I've said, Erwin, you can go to Hench Herbivore and those guys, Mike the Vegan, all those for the nutritional side of things. Which, like I said, I cannot advise you on that myself because I don't care about that. That's not something that concerns me. I'm concerned with the animals only. Doesn't mean that I don't take good care of myself, but I don't know. I'm a junk food eater, and I'm a couch potato, so I don't know. I don't get offended fast. I don't think about it. Ah, nice.
Hope is more open and more tolerant until that one becomes wrong too, and they shift to another one. Have you come across that phenomenon online? So this is really a bad phenomenon, like that we constantly make our own group smaller and smaller. I'm worried about recidivism. One of the reasons why people drop out is because they find it too difficult.
This is a lie. He says, "Oh, most people drop out because they find it difficult." No, that's not true. Um, those statistics that say that X percentage of vegans quit veganism is false. It's a fake news. It's fake news. I'm telling you, it's fake news. It's fake news because I mean, it's not even. They don't even take into account vegans. They take into account anyone who eats one salad a day or something. That's not veganism, and they take into consideration all the vegetarians, the flexitarians, the pescatarians, and all the other tarians who quit a diet. That's not veganism. I don't really think a principled vegan quits veganism. I don't really think that happens. I haven't seen it once, and I don't think I'll ever see it. The people who think veganism is some utilitarian thing against suffering, they can become ex-vegans because they didn't even understand veganism either. So that's the thing.
Okay, so we can make it as difficult as we want. We can put the price of admission to our club as high as we want, but it's not good to put it like extremely high.
That's a fallacy. That's a fallacy. He's trying to make it seem like we're making veganism to be this extreme thing so difficult for people to adopt when it's not. Like when you finally realize that, hey, the other animals are, non-human people basically. So why would I not respect them? Like respecting them is the most basic and the most decent thing you can do for them. So I don't think it's that extreme or that difficult. But he makes it as it is because for him, his whole thesis revolves around veganism being a diet. So that's the problem with him. His utilitarian calculations don't work. Carnivore diets don't talk about a vegan diet. Sometimes I've seen vegan debate with Tate plus seen some shorts. Yeah, exactly. It's a justice movement, nothing to do with a diet or anything like that.
I'm worried about signaling. Like suppose that um, you think you're not a real vegan because you do this or that, and then you're on a survey or something. You say like, well, I cannot take vegan. I have to take vegetarian because
A survey, though, survey, dude, stop worrying about a survey that didn't even happen and start worrying about the animals being in prison.
this one time at my grandmother, I did this. Well, then we're signaling that there's less of us than that there really are, I think. And that's not a good thing for the economy, for marketing, etc. So let's not make a very small group even smaller by being so strict about things.
Okay, dude, if you make the group larger by lying about what veganism is and by watering it down, but making it something it's not, you didn't really make a larger group. What you have is a group that is not comprised of the people who should be making it. So, and then you destroy it. You destroy the very thing that is supposed to be. So that's the thing he doesn't comprehend.
Let's not look at things as binary, as black and white. And here's three distinctions that I think are useful. First of all, expectations you have. You can make a difference between the expectations from yourself and the expectations you have from other people. Be as strict as you want. Maybe you don't have to expect the same thing from other people.
This is wrong. You do have to expect the same thing from other people. In fact, if you don't expect other people to be vegan just as you are, then you are insulting them. You are insulting their intelligence. You are insulting their integrity. You are insulting their capacity for understanding and change. And you're basically saying that, hey, I'm better than you because, hey, I'm vegan, but I don't expect you to be. You don't have to be. I am. You don't have to be. That to me, it's actually very insulting to the other person. I think it's the contrary. If you are vegan, you expect others to be exactly like you because you don't see yourself as superior to the other people. You see yourself just a regular guy. I'm just a regular guy. I'm nothing special. And I'm vegan. So if I can do it, anyone else can do it. I expect the same from everyone else. So to me, these people trying to not expect the same, I think that's insulting to the other people. I do expect that others will be vegan. In fact, I expect it from everyone. I expect Donald Trump to go vegan. I expect Piers Morgan to go vegan. I expect everyone, you know, from any walk of life to be vegan. The Pope, the Ayatollah, everyone. Everyone should be vegan. Netanyahu to be vegan. Everyone should be vegan. Because this is for the animals, not for ourselves. So I don't care who you are. If you exist and you're a human, you have the capacity and the moral obligation to be vegan. So I expect you to do that. If I expect anything less from you, I would be insulting you. I would be offending you, insulting your intelligence, your integrity, your character as a person. I won't do that. So that's right. I don't. In fact, expecting others to be vegan is not judging them. That was hard to say. Judge. I don't know. That was really difficult to say for some reason. I need water.
Behavior can be different in private than in public. You could be maybe as strict as you want in private and maybe a little bit more lenient in public, maybe for strategic purposes. Or you could do it the other way around. You could like meet in your basement and be very strict outside.
The Phantom.
And consistency.
Yeah, he's not a regular guy, that's for
make a
sure.
distinction between consistency with rules and with the definition of veganism and with goals or results. This is something some of you may have seen before. If you go to a certain city and you have to buy dinner for a friend, and you know in that one restaurant in that city there's only two choices: a very bad vegan burger and a delicious vegetarian burger. If you're consistent with your rules, you will buy them the very bad vegan burger.
But I think this is wrong. First of all, the taste is subjective, so you cannot say that that's a very bad vegan burger or whatever. The friend might like it. I don't know, even if you don't. And if I'm a vegan, I wouldn't even know if the vegetarian burger is gonna taste better or not because how would I know that? I wouldn't take it for myself. So why would I know? I would have no information on that. So but I don't have to buy my friend anything, by the way. So I'm not under no obligation of buying anything for anyone. So just for starters. But if I'm going to, I'm gonna give him the terrible vegan one because what does it matter what the taste of it is? What matters is that not contributing to this horrible animal massacre. So I don't know.
If you're consistent with results and with goals and with output and impact, I think you should buy them the vegetarian burger because they will say like, oh my God, this is good. I can taste this again. And there they will say like, oh my God, this is dreadful. Okay.
Like, I mean, if someone doesn't go vegan because they had a bad hamburger, that's on them. That's ridiculous. Like, sure, like just like any other thing, there's gonna be products, there's gonna be things that you're not gonna like, and there's some things that you're going to like. I don't like every fruit. I don't like every vegetable. I eat the ones I like, and that's it. I don't like every plant-based alternative or whatever. I don't like all of them. You know, just the same as when I was not vegan. I didn't like everything that was, animal derived either. So just the same with this. So someone not going vegan because they had one bad hamburger one day, doesn't sound truthful to me.
And the final one is positivity. Mainly my message is let's try to be more like dogs. Okay? Optimism is a moral duty. I believe in that. It's a moral duty because optimism will get us further. It will be more sustainable for us. We will keep doing what we're doing if we have hope. And of course, we don't have to exaggerate it because we cannot be optimistic about everything, and sometimes it would be dangerous. Like, we don't have to be naive about Donald here. I mean, it's not productive to say like, oh, everything will be all right. Okay, I think resisting this is a good thing. Optimism or positivity also towards, you can do it towards other vegans first of all, and there it's very important, or it's important in general, to realize that you're not a mind reader, to realize that you can never guess other people's intentions, that you don't know why they're doing something. I see.
Yeah, but dude, yeah, I mean, oh boy, I have to go to bed. Is okay. Bye, Martin, Kevin. See you later. Where is this video you are reviewing? Okay, the video is how to create a vegan world. Tobias Leenaert. Um, it's in a channel called Vegan Canal with a K, and it's from his presentation in the International Animal Rights Conference 2017. All right, so
People saying things like, you're doing this because of this, like people say about me, like, you're doing this because of money, or as if I ever make money with activism, right?
yes, you do make money with activism. It's your entire career. That's why you wanna make it impossible for people to actually be vegan. You're not promoting veganism because if you did, no one would listen to you or buy your book. That's why. Oh man. Exactly. How to create a vegan world where everyone is a reducitarian in denial, basically. Why are there dogs pets? Because humans say so. We are animals because humans say so. Do you see the indoctrination? Yeah, exactly. Pigs are more intelligent than dogs. They can be, but that's not the point. Even if they were equally intelligent or less intelligent than a dog, their lives would still matter to them, and that's what's important here. Um, so it's not about an intelligence level.
Or so this kind of like trying to guess or trying to know what people's intentions or motivations are, I don't think it's a very nice thing to do. We can also be more positive towards non-vegans, and that's very difficult. If we see all this horrible suffering, it's hard to be
Okay, again, no, it's not about suffering, my guy. This is another thing where he's wrong.
positive. It's hard to be positive towards people like a bullfighter. Something that helps me is one quote. It may sound a little bit cheesy, but I like it. Those who deserve love the least need it the most.
Well, here, yeah, he's basically ending the presentation stuff, says some other stuff, but we can already see why Tobias Leonard is wrong about basically everything. He starts out by calling the opposite of veganism carnism, which is not. Carnism is only the consumption of animal flesh. That alone is not enough. It's the mindset that animals are here for us to serve us. That's the opposite of veganism. The veganism being the ethical stance against the exploitation and commodification of animals for human purposes. So there you go. So that's why he's wrong from the get go. And then his solution or his strategy is not really a strategy, it's just a strategy to make others feel good about their terrible choices and liking him. So he's likable, and then people watch his videos more, they buy his books, he goes to conferences, he gets sponsors, other deals, and he makes money off the animals. That's the problem. He uses the animals for his own purpose. And that's why he is so dangerous to the animals and to veganism, because he doesn't believe in veganism. He says so himself. He doesn't care veganism. He cares about a reducitarian world where everyone calls themselves vegans without being one. I'm not in that business. I'm in the business of making vegans, not in the and freeing the animals. Not in the business of being some reducitarian, happy-go-lucky, liked by everyone or whatever. I'm not here to be liked. I'm not here to make friends. It's nice if it happens. I've met some awesome people. Many of you who have been here in the chat and are here right now. You're awesome, but it's nice that that happened. But that's not the purpose. The purpose is to set the animals free. So his strategy is not a strategy at all. Exactly, exactly, David. It's not a strategy at all. Sunday for the anti-vegan. I don't think it's alpha to drink milk. Yeah, virtual people are awesome. Exactly. Can argue against that. If someone assigns you a purpose to be exploited, enslaved, would it make it justified? What does it matter? What oppressors assign a purpose is the victim. What does that justify anything? Exactly, yeah, exactly. Just because we assign animals certain value or certain job that they must perform for us, or that we make them perform, doesn't mean that that's what they were born to do. We make them do it. So we bring them to life so they do that, but that's not their purpose. They don't have a purpose for humans. They have a purpose for themselves. They exist for themselves only. Now, many of these animals today are basically just man made versions of actual animals that at some point existed, but not anymore. Um, so it's really tragic and sad. But we do horrible stuff to the animals all the time, and we justify it with we've always done this, or it doesn't matter if we've always done it. It's been wrong from the day one. Um, there's milking whey, need egg whites, protein. Yeah, I think Irving has been really, really cool today. I think if more people were like Irving, at least open to conversation, open to learn something new, see the other side, see this new concept that he may be learning for the first time. He hasn't seen much of veganism, and what he's seen it from Joe Rogan and stuff like that. So not a very good source of vegan material, I would say. So it's nice that he's come here and he stayed this long and having conversations and stuff like that. Yeah, we already discussed this part, Erwin. We already fuel in my country, but I've heard it's good stuff. Yeah, we already covered this part that doesn't matter because eggs don't belong to you; they belong to the hens. So don't take them, even if they're from a friend of yours or whatever, or they just lay eggs. That's not an excuse. They don't do that for you, so it's not yours. So don't take it. But yeah, I think we already covered this Tobias Leenaert. I don't want to keep listening to him. Um, Man, it's been 2 hours and 12 minutes of this thing. Oh man, this ran for way longer than I expected. But with the troll attack and all the stuff, yeah, okay, so, yeah, exactly. All right, so I think we can start. Uh, Even though the conversation is really cool, missed the troll attack. Yeah, you missed the entire troll attack. It was Kane. He came here. He started like acting regular, like a regular human, but then he devolved into a troll again. Sadly, I thought we could have a conversation with him, like the one we've been having with this Irving Alpha. But no, instead of that, he was just a troll. Uh, yeah, he went bonkers, just like Morgan. Ah, man. Oh, man. But yeah, so that's the thing. Um, All right, bunkers. I think it's been nice talking to you, but I think we're gonna give it like at least a few minutes to say our goodbyes, because I do have to eat right now. I'm hungry, so I want to eat some of that awesome uh, plant. based stuff. The issue is how you view animals today. You still see animals and then eating periods in week. Yeah, exactly, Irving. Don't do that. All right. So yeah, I think that is not alpha to take advantage. Yeah, exactly. That's not alpha at all, Irving. So yeah, stop using others for your selfish purposes, and respect others' lives, and you know be vegan. Hey, decidedly, Donna, it was nice seeing you here. Goodbye to you. And good. But yeah, we can start saying our goodbyes because I'm gonna end this in the next few minutes. Just gonna give it. Yeah, exactly, Irving. The right mindset. We need to change people's minds because the first prison that the animals are in is this one. Our mind, the prison of our minds. That's where this whole thing starts and ends too. We can put an end to the horrible exploitation of animals if we put it in our minds first, and then we go from there with the practices and all that associated to that. But it's in our minds that this thing exists first and foremost. Exactly. So yeah, again, thank you everyone who's been here, even the trolls. Thank you for engaging with the content, even if it was in a non very healthy way. What are you gonna do? These trolls, they don't have a life, so they need to annoy the heck out of everyone else. Thank you, Sunday Slide Town, for your contributions today. And thank you, Irving Alpha, for showing up and being part of the conversation and having an overall cool attitude towards everything. I think this was very productive. All in all, I do hope to see you again in another live stream probably and see if you finally went vegan. I hope you do. It would be freaking awesome if you did. It would be freaking amazing. Um, and David, obviously awesome seeing you here. Um, the conspiracy theories should talk about meat since it's everywhere. Exactly. There's many conspiracy theories about drones and stuff like that, but never heard a conspiracy about meat, huh? Think that's kind of sus. But yeah, all right, people. I think we can leave it up to here. Uh, and so yeah, I've been AJ the Dogmatic Extremist. So let's do the chant, the Leslie Cross chant, to close this live stream. I, Leslie Cross. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Well, I've been AJ the Dogmatic Extremist. Oh man. That's never not gonna be funny. I'm sorry, that's gonna be hilarious. From now on. All my live streams have to begin and end that way. Well, people. Okay. Oh man. Okay. Bye, everyone. Thank you for being here. Oh man. See you in the next one.